Well, a great thing happened at recess today. I was losing at pickleball 10 to 1, and I came back and won with my partner 12 to 10. Can I tell you why we came back? Me and my partner, we kept having grace for each other. We never turned on each other. We kept cheering ourselves on. The entire game for like 10 minutes, every time they served, if they scored, they win the game. And we just kept saying, let's hold them off one more time. Let's hold them off one more time. And then we kept getting to serve. Okay, let's get off of one. Let's see if we can get 2 points. Let's see if we can get 3 points. Let's see if we can get 4 points. And we kept doing that until we tied and then won the game. Yeah, I know, it was at the YMCA. It was pickleball. It's a big deal. You know why? It's a picture of what makes life work. This is how life works. But in different facets of our life, we don't allow this. Many people, if they're building a business, they will put up with so much heartache because, dadgummit, I'm going to make this happen. This is my business. I'm going to make money. It's going to help me. I'm going to be able to buy stuff and buy a house. And I'm going to make this happen. And so we keep facing the hardship joyfully. But with marriage, we tend to focus in such a way that it's like, this is so dumb that this is happening. I can't believe you hit the ball out of bounds. I can't believe we're behind right now. I can't believe the budget doesn't look good right now. And we get shocked by it. We get offended by it. And then we want to throw shade on our marriage, or we want to blame our spouse. At pickleball today, the only reason we came back and won is because when the chips were down, we still stayed on the same page together. We had grace for each other. We cheered each other on. Marriage, what tends to happen is we lose grace and we stop cheering each other on. We start jeering each other instead of cheering each other. Maybe here's the main reason why. We stop doing things to love each other. Your spouse, they need to feel in their heart that you're with them. Their heart needs to feel like you care about them and that you're open to them and that you believe in them. They need to be able to feel this. I'm telling you, not to magnify pickleball, but even playing pickleball with people you don't even know very well, you can feel when the person you're playing pickleball with gets too uptight when they're losing. You can feel when they get upset at you if you're not doing what they would like you to do. You can feel it, and it makes you just kind of shrink back. It's hard to perform when that person is like that. Now, this happens in marriage a lot, where our spouse is doing things to cause us to lose points, and it makes us upset, and we think that we deserve to be upset. Like, they're making us lose. We're losing because of them. I should be upset. They're going to know that I'm upset. I'm going to point it out again. I'm going to let them know. Well, and then we respond to them in that kind of way that it makes them tense up. We want our spouse to be open, but the way that we confront them makes them close. We want them to open their heart to us, but they can't because they're afraid that you're going to, with words or with actions, punch them in the heart if they open their heart. So we create our own tension in marriage. And most of the work that we do with couples is to just say, look, it's okay to be behind sometimes in life. You're losing in this facet of your life, maybe marriage, maybe you're losing in this facet right now. It's okay, it's life. But to get back in the game, it's going to test your resiliency to have grace and mercy and love for the person you're in the game of life with. But as long as you're looking at them and you're judging them and you're always like this, you're always like this, that person doesn't have a chance to be different. Because it feels awful when a human being in any human endeavor looks at you and says, well, this is how you always are. And then you go to hit the next pickleball and you're like, oh, I hope I don't always do it again. And it makes you be tense. You can't just be yourself, and you can't perform at your best. Marriage, like every other human endeavor with people, requires grace. It requires the ability to be behind and to have problems and be like, it's okay that we have this problem. Let's just face it. Like, it's okay that we have this problem. Let's just face it. Listen, marriage is a picture of our individual lives. At some point, we're just off. If we're a train, we're off the tracks. It happens in all of our lives individually, and it certainly happens in marriage. And probably the number one problem that happens in marriage is we blame the marriage and we miss the thing in us that needs to be adjusted. I miss the me. It's easy for me to see my spouse and what they need to change. It's easy to be afraid of my marriage. But probably the biggest mistake we make is just neglecting to see what needs to change in me. Because what if I'm right that my spouse isn't very open-hearted with me, so I don't feel their heart? Like, I can't even talk to them about things. There's like this wall. And what if you're right, they have that wall? But what if your approach to them causes them to have that wall up? What if you built the wall in front of them? You're right that your spouse might sometimes be so intense and kind of strong that you feel like if you try to bring something up, you feel like they're just going to snap at you again, make you feel stupid. So it's hard to show up. And you're right, you have reasons for kind of walling off, but that's not what love does. Love leans in even when there's a little bit of fear involved. My friends, every marriage comes to crossroads. And what people can do is just have a big bowl of grace that simply says, okay, we're not where we want to be, but all we need to do is just like have some conversations and get on the same page with this area and that area and make a couple shifts, and we can get there. But the hardest thing is for both people to give grace to each other and just let grace take the tension out of the room. Like, stop waiting for your spouse to change before you give him grace. Stop waiting for your spouse to change before you give them grace. Love them. Tell them you love them. Open your heart to them. It's worth it.